So nice to meet you in person.
Very nice to meet you in person.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too as well, finally.
Face to face over a computer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And is that your studio?
I'm in my living room right now. My studio is down in the basement. I have an area down in our basement that I use to paint on. A big table set up, and I have a French easel set up downstairs that I use for my easel. I was painting off the table for quite a while, and then I was sitting down. So with the French easel, I can stand up or sit on a stool, and it's better situated under the lights.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start from the beginning. So I'm going to erase all that part.
Okay. All right. Wait a minute. Back to my question.
We'll just welcome you and introduce you. She coughs and I think, oh my gosh, she's got COVID.
No, I do not have COVID. I just got a tickle in my throat.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
All right, 3, 2,
1. Go ahead.
Well, welcome Inspired to Paint students, and welcome to Bruce Boynton, who is our member spotlight for this month. We haven't done one for a couple months.
It's been a while.
We've been a little busy.
We've been putting you on hold for a little while because we've been so busy.
Anyway, we are so happy to finally get the chance to get to know you better and find out what inspires you and what you like to paint. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Nice to see you both. And I started painting seriously when I retired and started painting, oil painting around 2015, 2016. I took lessons for 2.5 years at a local fine art studio here in town. And that got me going again. But actually, many eons ago, I was an art major, an architecture major in college, but I didn't get back to art, my business thing. So after I retired, I got back to art. So I've been painting for about 5.5 years.
Jeez.
Wow, awesome.
You're doing really good for 5.5 years. Really good.
And where is here? Where do you live?
Here is in Loveland, Colorado, northern Colorado, just south of Fort Collins.
You know, I lived there for a couple years.
Oh, you're kidding. When was that? Well, never mind.
8 years ago.
8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah. Well, we settled here. My wife and I both graduated from Colorado State University in Fort Collins. And my wife was from Loveland, and we settled here. It's a beautiful community.
It is a beautiful community.
And a really great art community.
A great art community. It has a great sculpture show, and I support.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That art in the park.
Worked on the sculpture show. Art in the park. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends that have done that show. Yeah. Well, you're in a beautiful place to paint. Your surroundings all the way around are beautiful.
And I can get up to Rocky Mountain National Park in less than an hour.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
It's really beautiful up there.
Yep.
Do you spend much time plein air painting?
I do not, except for the last couple of weeks. I started plein air painting for the summer of 2017. I painted with a group up in the mountains in Estes Park for the summer, and I did a little in 2018. I did a couple in 2019 at a workshop in France, but this last year I have not. So these last 2 weeks I was in the Estes Valley plein air event.
Oh, wonderful.
Awesome.
And I just turned in my paintings this morning. They're due today, and then we'll have the gala reception this coming Saturday. So this was my first plein air event, and I struggled through plein air painting for the last couple of weeks.
It never ends either. It will always be a struggle. Plein air painting is always a struggle.
Now, my easel only blew over one time.
Oh, that's good.
I was up in the mountains, and a gust of wind out of nowhere I stood up to stand back and look at my painting, and a gust of wind took it down. Fortunately, the painting was not damaged. It landed on my chair. I decided to use a little stool to sit on it, so
Type of plein air.
it worked out all right.
What type of plein air easel do you have?
I use It's two pieces, and of course the name just escapes me. As soon as I need to say the name of it, I bought it from the artist sells these. It's a two piece that has the wooden box easel with side panels open up and the separate piece on top just attached to your tripod.
And it's wood?
It's wood.
Art box panel?
Or is it
No. Well, I think the artist name starts with a C, but I just can't remember the name right now, unfortunately.
I have Josh Bean's Day Tripper, which is in two pieces as well, but it's black.
Yes. I met Josh in Salida a couple of years ago. We were on our way to Durango for the Colorado Plein Air Artists of Colorado were having their annual get together in Durango, Colorado, out in Southwest Colorado. And we stopped in Salida on the way, and I got to meet Josh and see the Day Tripper in person, the easel, and perhaps I might buy one someday. It's probably a little bit lighter than the wood one that I have.
I've had mine for 5 years, and it's gone through some abuse, but it's still hanging in there. Yeah. Well, Josh is a phenomenal painter as well. I don't know if you've seen a lot of his work, but yeah, he's amazing painter.
So we're just going to ask you some questions and talk about art so other people can get to know you as well. So Shanna's going to take it away.
I have to put my glasses on.
Okay.
What brought you to painting, and how long have you been doing it? You said 5 years. And how much time a week do you spend painting?
I try and paint every week, and when I get going on a painting, I'll paint every day. These last 2 weeks, of course, I painted every day because I had to do the plein air. But when I paint downstairs, my biggest problem is getting something started, finding coming up with a composition, getting something on that white panel or white canvas. But once I do, I'll paint every day. But I went through a period a few months ago where I did not paint for a couple of weeks. So I go through periods like that where just can't come up with something and need to get away for a while. But I would, when I first started painting, I'd have one or more than one painting going at a time, and I prefer to do that. So I paint every week basically.
Very good. That's very good.
But we all get painter's block.
Oh yeah, and sometimes after deadlines, you can't even make yourself go to the easel.
Yeah. I've gone several weeks without painting sometimes.
Yeah, you have to. It is definitely one of those jobs that you have to fill your cup first before you can put it out there. And sometimes you have to step away from the easel and live life and go look at beautiful things and beautiful paintings and then come back to it.
And I have tried to spend more time actually planning a painting.
Yeah.
Both of you and Shanna, you talk about getting the basic composition down first, and if that doesn't work, forget about putting color on the canvas. So I've been trying to do some sketches and that type of thing, and make sure I get something that looks good on the canvas before I start applying color. But I've been doing some pencil sketches and things like that to try and get some ideas and get things going rather than just sitting down and starting painting by copying a photo or something.
Yes. The design is so important. Shape placement, your angles, where you enter the painting, where you leave the painting, the rhythm through the painting, it's just so important. But I see that in your work because I'm the one that usually does your critiques, and I can already see that in your work, and I can also see that you have experience in drawing, like from your architecture, because your drawing skills are very good.
Well,
your perspective issues are very good.
And speaking of your critiques, you critiqued one of, I did a painting of Sprague Lake Trail. Sprague Lake is a lake up in Rocky Mountain National Park, and I had a 14 by 18 painting that you critiqued for me a couple of months ago. And I made those suggestions, and versus Park, where my work is, and it sold a couple of weeks ago.
Yay! That's great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, you already have a style. You already have a look to your paintings. So that's a big thing.
Well, thank you.
What is your favorite genre when painting? Landscape, still life, figure, abstract, and your favorite medium?
Landscapes and oil. 5 or 6 years ago, I was taking lessons. I started in pastel. And of course, some of my earlier work was copies of the masters. So I did some pastels. I did a pastel portrait of the famous painting, The Girl with the... I can't remember who did it. Are you familiar with that one? Vermeer painting, The Girl with the Earring. So I did that one, was pleased with that. And but I do oil, and I do mostly do landscapes, but some of the nicest paintings, I have some of my work hanging up in the house, but some of the nicest paintings I have in the house are copies I've made from people like you. I have the dream tree that I did from China.
Good.
I have that hanging up in our house.
I loved painting that painting. That was so much
It's a gorgeous painting. It's beautiful. Another one I did was we visited the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art a few years ago. We took a road trip. That's in Bentonville, Arkansas. Beautiful work in a beautiful museum.
Yeah, we've heard of that. Is it Howard
Built-
Museum or not too far?
Not too far from there.
Yeah, built by the Walmart family, I think.
Yeah.
And I saw an original painting by Sargent there, Capri Girl on a Roof, and it was original. So I got to see it close up, and I just fell in love with the painting. So when I happened to be, this was when I was still taking lessons here at the here in town. I made a copy of it. It took me several weeks, but I gridded it out. I used grids, and I drew the painting on my own canvas, and I painted it. So it's a copy, but it came out quite well, and that's another one I have hanging up in the house here. So a couple of copies that I've done, and of course someone else has already done the composition and the.
Oh, you're kind of freezing up there, Bruce. Hold on.
Hang on.
I don't know if
and all that for you, so it makes it a little bit easier. But it's a good way to learn.
Okay, we're gonna just hold on a second because I don't know if it's my internet or your. There we go. You were frozen for just a second.
I'm getting a message on my screen that I have an unstable connection. Every once in a while, that message pops up.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Tell me about your favorite painting that you have accomplished, and please send us a photo to share with it. What is your favorite painting?
My favorite one.
My
favorite painting, other than the dream tree, is I did a painting. I started it at a workshop in France from an artist that I'm sure you know. And we had a rainy day over there in Provence, and so she provided us with a copy of a lavender field. Started the painting over there of the lavender field based on a.
Oh, hang on one second.
Hold on. You're frozen again.
And I got home. Are we unfrozen?
Now you are.
Okay, we lost you at the
lavender fields.
Oh. And so I finished the lavender field painting here at home, and I have some friends here in town who lived for a few years in France and just loved it, so they bought it from me.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wonderful.
And it turned out really well, so that's probably my favorite painting, and I'll send you a picture of it, but I will point out that it's from a photo reference provided by the artist instructor. It's not my original photo or my original source.
Okay.
There's a lot you can learn from copying.
Oh yeah, paint strokes, brush strokes, color, temperature shifts. You can learn so much from copying a master painting. Yeah. Is there any artist, dead or alive, that has had a strong influence on your work, and why?
I'm certainly inspired by the work that both of you do in the lessons that you provide, and I mean that. So that's been an inspiration and given me something to work at. And I've I focused more on temperature shifts, the warms and the cools of the colors, as well as soft edges. You both use soft edges. The still lifes I used that I did from Elizabeth's lessons, I was surprised to learn that how soft the edges, even on a floral arrangement, a still life, the flowers in the background have soft edges. So you have both been an inspiration. There are several living artists today, and while I'm familiar with some of the masters, you know, Monet, of course, and Sargent, Sargent was more of a classical artist with portraits, but to see his brushstrokes up close and to know how they can, I don't know whether double dipping their brush and make one sweep of the brush and do exactly what he wanted to do, but to see, like you mentioned before, to see how some of the masters painted was certainly a wow moment for me. But I do follow several living artists from around the country and here in Colorado, and inspired by their work. And I follow them on Instagram or check out their websites. And I also check out the artists who have win awards on the Oil Painters of America, Eastern and Western region shows that they have every year, and I see who won, and I find artists whose work I like, and I check out their work. And there are several. I have trouble focusing in on my own style because I do like a range of work from impressionism to representational, but slightly loose and impressionistic. And when I first started painting, I thought I might lean towards impressionism, but whenever I put brush to canvas, it always ends up leaning more towards representational, not photorealism, but leaning more towards representational. So
we both know that feeling. It is so hard to get outside of that to impressionism or abstraction. It's really it's a leap of faith to get there.
We have to paint who we are.
Yeah,
and
authenticity is the most important thing.
And I'm still searching for that. But again, I won't mention a lot of people's names, but several people I'm sure you know and are aware of. But there are many wonderful landscape painters here in the United States and in Colorado. I just try and pay attention to pick the ones whose work I like and try and emulate them and improve my painting.
Yeah. There are so many fantastic landscape painters, especially in Colorado. Len Schmiel is incredible. David Griffin is incredible.
John Taft is in Colorado.
John Taft is in Colorado. David Griffin is in Texas, but John Taft is in Colorado. Yeah, many. Dave Santanias, many painters.
I took a summer 3-day workshop with Dave. 4 or 5 of us got together with Dave Eric. So August or September, we got together with Dave Santianas and painted outdoors with him for a while. So yeah,
he's wonderful.
Yeah.
We really like him. Okay, next question. We're asking all these questions, but we could probably just sit and chat and cover them all. Is there 1 or 2 things that have helped with your progress and given you confidence in your voice and ability?
Oh boy. Well, I'm still searching for the confidence.
As are we.
As are we. But you do have confidence in your paintings. I can tell you that.
Thank you. And I, who was it that said, I guess it was Monet. We went to a show by Monet. It was Monet's work down at the Denver Art Museum a couple years ago. One of his quotes was, "Oh, how the painting makes me suffer." So that's one of my favorite sayings. I'll come up from the basement and my wife will say, "Have you suffered?" And of course,
yes.
One of my favorite sayings is, "Painting is easy when you don't know how. It's hard when you do."
There you go. And I'm sorry, I forgot what your question. 1 or 2 things that gave me confidence.
Or that were enlightening to you, that made a difference in your work.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Well, you said edges
Yeah.
before, and I think that's a good one. I think
The
edges.
warmth and the cools. I think one of the things that gave me confidence is the first time I sold a painting. So wow, somebody actually paid money
that's
for something
nice.
that I did. And
That's awesome.
you know, that always helps with the confidence.
Yes.
Last week I got a call from the gallery, and the family from Texas bought 3 of my paintings. And
Oh,
I was
wonderful.
outside. Yeah, that was a good day. So I was outside in the fields up there by Estes Park painting mountains, and got that call. Someone buys your work, and so you know that, wow, someone actually likes my paintings. I feel a little bit like Sally Field, you know, when she went,
Yeah,
you like
me.
You really
Well,
like
it is a connection, and it's a connection that two like-minded people come together on this tangible object. It's amazing.
What gallery are
Yeah.
you in Texas?
It's I'm in Colorado Park. It's the Art Center of Estes
Oh.
Park. It's a nonprofit. It's a nonprofit
Oh, wonderful.
gallery. So there's 40 artist members. Yep.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
wonderful.
And I did that. I enjoy the community. I enjoy the people.
Mhm.
Okay, this is a tough one. Where do you want to be in 1 year from now? And then where do you want to be in 5 years from now?
In 1 year, I would like to have the quality of my work improved enough that I can feel fairly good about submitting a painting to one of OPA's, you know, the Western Regional Show or something like that. I'd like to be able to submit a show. In 5 years, I would like to have a painting accepted at an OPA show. Yeah, and I would like to be doing larger paintings. I generally do smaller paintings to better price range for sales in this area where I'm at. And if the quality of my work improves and I can do larger paintings, I would strive to do that.
And in 5 years?
In 5 years, I hope one of my paintings will get accepted to an OPA Western
okay.
show.
Oh,
Well,
that can happen in
that
a
can
year.
happen in a year, yeah.
Yeah.
One of our, Colin had submitted and got his painting in the OPA show, wasn't it, Colin?
We
had a
actually have
few.
had a few.
I remember reading that some of your members have
Yeah.
been accepted to an OPA show. So
Well, I'd be happy to give you a few more challenges.
please do.
Okay, I'll do that. We'll talk after, and I'm happy to give you some challenges. But you are well on your way.
Well, thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with others that might encourage people who just started the course or
Just started out painting.
Anything you'd like to?
Yeah, just keep trying. Just keep painting. You know, in the workshop I took in France, I learned that closer observation of what you're actually seeing, what you're looking at. Did we freeze up, or are we still going?
No, you're going.
You're good now. You're good now.
Okay, I got that message on the screen again, but just keep trying. These past couple of weeks, as I've been doing plein air, each time I went out, it got easier. The first time I went out, I forgot the top half of my easel.
Oh, no.
I drove a half an hour to get there, and I didn't have that top half to mount the pen. I had to come back.
One of our
the other day.
one of our friends
Yeah.
went plein air painting, and she forgot her brushes, and she ended up painting with twigs.
She made horsehair. She took horsehair, and she cut some of it and wrapped it up on a stick and
Painted that way.
painted with horsehair. Isn't that
Yeah.
funny? And it was a beautiful painting.
Yeah, it was.
It's a beautiful painting. Sometimes you just
Well,
do.
Yeah, I would just encourage people to just keep going. Don't get discouraged. Just keep plugging away at it. Just keep painting. You'll make mistakes and there'll be failures, but we learn from our mistakes, and the failure are the learning process. Just keep going and just keep trying.
Oh, you know what? We learn more from our failures than we do our successes by a long shot. So if people could get that through their mind of, okay, that was what I would call a failure, but look how much I learned through it. So they're very successful, actually.
I have about 150 learning experience over
We
there.
all, we
So
all have
probably
learning
200.
experiences.
A lot of learning experiences over there in my bin.
Do you
I have
ever
a
paint
box of-
over paintings, or do you get a new canvas every time?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you ever paint over paintings to rework them, or do
Oh,
you
yeah.
start fresh?
I do. I pulled out and one of the reasons I keep my paintings small during my first few years I figure it's a learning process. And so if I screw something up, I'm not out a lot of money, and I can learn a lot by doing small paintings as well. So, but yes, to answer your question, I have definitely painted over old paintings more than once, I might add, and they've sold.
Oh, very good.
So this is 2 or 3 times I painted over a painting, because I'll look at something, I'll set it aside in the box downstairs, my learning panel. And when I did it, I thought it was best I could do. It's pretty good. I'll look at it a year later and say, well, that's not that good. I can do better than that. And I will paint over it.
Yeah.
And then a year later, I'll paint over it again. And I've done that, and the painting has sold. So there's some paintings that there's something about it. There's something good about it that's worth saving.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not quite there yet, that I'll save and think I can make this better, and I'll pull it out. And I have done that. I'll paint over a painting. Yeah.
That's I don't know if you've seen the search and destroy videos that I make, but the painting always ends up better, and it ends up having a little more depth to it. And if it doesn't, which I have one that I just sanded the day before yesterday, if it really isn't working, I'll sand areas down and go back into it.
But sometimes it's fun to take a painting that didn't work, and we sand it down and then paint a whole new painting on top of it.
And let the color
I
come.
did that for my piece that got accepted into the Western Regional Show for the OPA that's coming up here in Kansas. And there was a green section of the painting underneath, and I wasn't even planning on leaving that green coming through, but in the end there was just a little section of green. Remember how cool that
was?
It
was beautiful.
It was like this happy little accident. So sometimes those things can really turn out fun.
Yeah,
it does work. I did recall just now that the name of it's a Coulter easel, if that means anything.
Coulter.
Oh, Coulter.
CLT.
Yes. Yeah, I know which one that is. That's a good easel too.
It is a good easel.
Yeah, and he makes it handmade, doesn't he?
Yes, he makes them himself.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I want that alla prima, the Bitterroot alla prima easel someday. I'll get that one someday. But
I have a Soltec.
Yeah, I have a Soltec too.
I have an Edge Pro too.
Yeah. We actually have very few easels compared to most plein air painters have like 10 different setups. So
you
I have 3.
You just told us, or you told us earlier, you were babysitting your grandkids. Do they enjoy seeing Grandpa paint?
Yes, these kids, obviously they're my grandkids, so they're very smart. They're 4 years old. They're 4 years old, and they just turned 4 in June.
Twins, right?
And the boy, I'm sorry, they're twins. They're not identical, but they're twins. And the boy the other day says, "Grandpa, I really like your painting." And I was downstairs, and he came down and he looks like, "Grandpa, I really like your painting." And he's getting a very sincere compliment. I said, "Well, John, I appreciate that. It's nice of you to say so." But he said that a couple of times to me.
Oh, that's so
that's
sweet.
wonderful.
Very complimentary. There's my confidence builder right there.
Absolutely. From the mouths of babes, they don't even hardly know how to tell a lie. They tell it like it is.
Right.
We've heard some comments from little kids before that were not necessarily complimentary.
My kids would usually say, "Mom, there's something wrong with that." Or, "That's not my favorite." Are you done yet? Is it done?
Is it done?
Oh. Well, this has been
Little
great.
kids, I'll just mention.
Go ahead.
I'll mention one thing. what inspires me one of the things that inspires me to paint is be able to stand back and feel proud about something I've created. And that goes back to first grade. First grade, we cut out fish, a little fish shape out of construction paper. The teacher pasted them on the wall above the blackboard all across the wall. And we had a parents' night. And I remember my parents came, and I stood back
Oh, you're frozen again. Hold on.
and looked up at all those colors.
Hold on.
Wait a minute.
Okay, so the fish were put up on the wall.
And I could point out to my fish, I'm so proud about something that I created. So getting that good feeling about something that you've created and can appreciate, inspire you.
And what a strong memory that you obviously that gave you, because you still remember that from first grade.
Oh yeah.
It makes one be very aware of what they say to children, because a bad comment at a young age can turn somebody completely off of it, like they'll never be able to do it.
Right.
But a little encouragement goes a long ways.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
Well, it's been wonderful getting to know you. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
I can't think of anything. I just thank you both for inspiring me and so many others to paint. Doing a great job.
Oh,
Well,
thank you. We love doing it. We have had a ball.
We finished filming Shannon. Oh, go get your painting.
Oh yeah, we filmed today.
There were planes, trains, automobiles, chickens, flies. It was.
Morning light.
No, can you see it? This is from the concept lesson.
From the concept lesson.
That I'll probably be able to have up maybe tomorrow night. Yeah.
I will look forward to that.
Yeah, she did a great job, but there was a lot of noise yesterday and today for filming for some reason. Yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing more of your paintings and critiquing more of your paintings. And like I said, I will give you a challenge. I'll go through your work and I'll push you in a couple of different directions with this series.
I look forward to it. Thank you very much.
Well,
thank you.
We're happy that you agreed to do this little interview, and happy to show the rest of Inspired to Paint your work, because you are very inspiring.
Yeah, I think everyone will enjoy getting to know you, so thank you. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a nice afternoon.
Bye-bye.
I'll talk soon.
Bye-bye.